good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back, whatever fits. I'm glad you're here. I've been away for 2 or 3 days, but I'm back in the saddle again, so to speak. And got another thought I want to run out and see if anybody salutes. I hope so. Personally, I think it's a pretty good idea. But in the meantime, I'm Russ Lambert. Welcome. Glad you're here. If you'd subscribe, like, all that good stuff, if you'd do all that, I'd appreciate it. And this might be a minute or two, so I'm going to go ahead and get into it. First order of business is disclosure. I am not, and I'm talking politics tonight, I am not a registered Republican. I'm not a registered Democrat. I'm a mutt. In my lifetime, I've voted for both Democrats and Republicans, whatever the office. I'm a conservative. In every race, I will look at each candidate and I'll try to break down in my own head which one of them would follow a more faithfully conservative agenda and which one I believe I can trust. And I'll vote for the one I believe to be the more conservative. Now, especially in recent years, we all know that means that probably 99% of my votes have gone to the Republican. But I'll still maintain I'm not married to the party, and I'll illustrate that in just a minute. In fact, that brings me to the whole point of what I'm talking about. And I'm trying to think like a Republican who's looking to preserve the future of the country that I love. And I'm working on the premise that the results of last week's election will stand. Now, as I'm talking right now, there's lawsuits going on. On the surface, it looks like that just maybe President Trump's got a pretty good argument. But is it strong enough to make a difference? I don't know. Personally, I don't even have a little bit of faith that election was conducted on the up and up. But as the old TV shows say sometimes, knowing something and proving something, a lot of times, that's two different things. But I'm getting off topic. The concern right now is Georgia. More specifically, 2 Senate races in Georgia, 2 runoffs that will not only decide who sits in those 2 Senate chairs, but it'll determine the balance of power in Washington, D.C. Right now, the United States Senate is made up of 48 Democrats and 50 Republicans. But one of those 50 is Mitt Romney, so I don't know. How about 48 to 49.5? Anyhow, take that as you will. If the Democrats can manage to win both runoff races in Georgia, they'll have a standing in the Senate of 50-50, even if you do give Romney full credit for being a Republican. It'll be 50-50. And that means they get the tiebreaker. The president of the Senate is the vice president of the United States. And that person casts the tie-breaking vote. And it hurts me to say it, but we know what a Vice President Kamala Harris will do. Now, the Democrats already have a small majority in the House. It's not a big majority, but it's a definite majority. It's enough they're firm, they're settled. They've also got their hand-picked jellyfish in the White House. And with the Senate in Democrat control, there will be nothing, no checks, no balances to get in the way of them destroying a great nation. And all of that brings me to where I was going. I'm going to talk for a minute or two about a man that I like, and I like him a lot. He's a Democrat, and I'd vote for him in a minute over most Republicans. For example, against Mitt Romney, I'd vote for Joe Manchin in a heartbeat, no matter what office they're running for. As an outside observer looking in, I believe that Joe Manchin is a good man. Now, for those of you that don't know who Joe Manchin is a United States Senator from West Virginia, and he's a Democrat. Let me give you just a few numbers. In last week's presidential election, Donald Trump carried West Virginia by 69% to 30% over Joe Biden. West Virginia's other senator, and I hope I say the name right, the other senator, Shelley Moore Capito, is a Republican who won re-election by a margin of 70 to 27%. The West Virginia Senate is made up of 20 Republicans and 14 Democrats. The West Virginia State House is made up of 58 Republicans, 41 Democrats, and 1 independent. So I'm going to say the obvious. West Virginia officially is a red state. Joe Manchin is a longtime politician. The people of West Virginia love him, and he's got the numbers to prove it. He's been the Secretary of State for West Virginia. He's been the governor of West Virginia, and for the last 10 years, he's been in the United States Senate. In fact, Senator Manchin was the governor of West Virginia at the time when former Senator Robert Byrd passed away. Then Governor Manchin had the integrity to not appoint himself to Senator Byrd's seat. He appointed somebody else. Now, then later in the special election, he ran for the Senate. He won, and he's won re-election twice since. Neither time has it been close. So again, I believe Joe Manchin is a good man. Now I'm going to float an idea. It's been run up the flagpole before. Nothing happened, but maybe this time. I'm going to shift gears and talk just a minute about a lady named Ronna McDaniel. Now, if there is any job in the world that I could claim for myself to fill that position for 48 hours, it would be hers. If I could be her for 48 hours. Now, if you don't know, Ronna McDaniel is the chair of the Republican National Committee. If I could be her, I would reach out to Joe Manchin and I would make my best sales pitch trying to persuade him to switch parties. Now, why would Manchin even consider it? Well, first off, he's thought about it before. It didn't come to fruition at the time, but this isn't a brand new idea for him. Also, at the time that it was brought to him before, at that time, the Democratic Party as a whole had not just gone 134% stupid. They had not yet laid out a plan to just plainly destroy America, which is becoming more and more obvious every day that goes by. In the second place, Manchin is a vulnerable Democrat because the further left the party has gone, the further it's moved away from him. Joe Manchin identifies himself as pro-life. And in the Democratic Party, excuse me, and in the Democratic Party, to call yourself pro-life, that's worse than a turd in a punch bowl. Now, he's not as strong pro-life as I wish he was, but Planned Parenthood gives him an approval rating under 50%. I'll take it. But with his lack of enthusiasm about killing babies, all you need is some ambitious little so-and-so to come along and run against him in the Democratic primary, and guess where all the support of the Democratic Party is going to go. Next thing, and I've pointed this out already, West Virginia has left Joe Manchin behind. West Virginia has turned red while he has remained blue. It's not blue. It's not even purple. Joe Manchin is a blue boat in a red ocean. And that's where Ronald McDaniel comes in. She can promise him, she can assure him that his position in the Senate is secure for as long as he wants it. Now, he knows the Democrats will kick him to the curb. I'm not saying something he don't know already. But she can promise him full support. She can promise him no opposition when he runs for re-election. There's no Republican opposition. She can promise him almost unlimited funding for his next election if he should need it. When push comes to shove, he would benefit by making this move. The Republicans would benefit if he made this move. It's a win-win. And what's really encouraging to me, I'm just a small town boy from East Texas, and I can figure it out. I know there's a lot of folks up there that's a lot smarter than I am, that have already thought of this. And if Mr. Manchin hears one word about this, my word for him is, sir, please think about it. Just think about it. I'm not the smartest guy around, but I can sure see the benefits. Anyhow, that's my 2 cents for the evening. Until next time, everybody be good to one another, and God bless you.